Fortnite. Oh, love it. What did I say? Youth culture. Keep your eye on the ball, baby. Hey, if you want to send a text, 35192, your Cleveland Guardians are back at it tonight, weather permitting. It's a 6:10 game. Tonight, tomorrow, and Thursday are all a little bit early-ish, so we dip out a couple minutes early. 6:10 tonight against the Baltimore Orioles, which are kind of occupying the same space as the Cleveland Guardians right now. Orioles are, they're in a much harder division, but they're about the same record, yeah.
Do you think when kids go to the iHeartland on Fortnite, they're like, man, this is bussin'? I bet they are. I bet they're saying that.
These carrots, these digital carrots are bussin'. Yeah. So tonight, 6:10, right here on WMMS, and the iHeartRadio app, of course, you can listen there. And tomorrow is going to be the very last day for you to use the promo code RADIO. It's been good all August. But as we move into September, we'll move on to something else. It gets you 20% off over at CLE Clothing Company. It's one right around the corner from us, the flagship right here downtown. And then they have them out at Crocker. They have all over the place. But let's say you want to go to a CLE Clothing Company, but you're really scared to come downtown and park. Well, you can get online. You can go to cleclothingco.com, Gesundheit, and still use the promo code RADIO today and tomorrow. And what?
I'm kidding.
That's not bussing, Mary.
You're bussing.
Whatever you're doing. How was Michelle Wolf? Mary opens for Michelle Wolf last night.
Oh, it was amazing.
She did a one-nighter over here?
She did a one-nighter. Loge was open, which means she sold over 250. It was a pretty full room.
I didn't even know she was coming. I don't know how I missed that, but I didn't even know she was coming.
Well, she's doing a tour of one-nighters. So she has a bunch of random dates on weekdays all over the country. But yeah, her new hour is fantastic. I'm a big fan of her comedy, always have been.
Is this all? I had to warm up to her, but I think she's very funny.
I've loved her since the jump. Like, I saw her first couple of clips, and I was like, oh, I like her. I was
one of the people that watched her show on Netflix every week.
Oh, yeah. Really?
Yeah, I loved that show.
The Break, or what was it called?
I thought that was such a funny show. I was so bummed when it got canceled.
Yeah,
she did
great.
a bit called Segment Time that was really funny on that show.
Yeah.
So are these all prep for her? Like she's doing a Netflix thing or something? Or
either that or she just wants to get out and do some new material. Yeah. I don't know, but the crowd was fantastic. It was one of those when you're...
So you're playing to a packed house last night.
We're playing to a packed house, and her following is very similar to what I would imagine my following will be one day, where it's heavily liberal females, like in their mid-30s. Like it was basically doing a set to a crowd full of me. And it went very well. It was super fun. She was so sweet. Nothing bad to say about the night. It was really wonderful. So if she's around, go catch a set. It was awesome. I had something else to say about it, but I don't remember.
Well, take your time. We're just, just sitting here,
out.
Mary, just,
waiting on me.
Waiting on you.
No, it was great. I mean,
it's starting to be weird that there's funny females finally.
You know what, dude?
It's it's been so long.
It's honestly
it's what the heck? I saw Corinne Fisher, who's from the Guys We F podcast, and she did a set on a show I was doing on Saturday. And for a girl, really funny.
You know, you can't even say it.
I know. I can't say it. But no, she was great. And I mean, there's so many good comics right now. But she was really, really funny, really clever. And I love Michelle Wolf, too.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a fantastic show.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah.
We've learned that women are funny.
Women are funny, yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
a few women are funny.
Some women are funny.
Just like some guys are funny.
I was going to say, like some men are funny.
People on the text are arguing over bussin', by the way.
Oh.
I can't believe that I'm 43 and white and have to explain slang to Poundcake.
Okay, what is it then?
Bussin' is shooting, not bussin'.
He said it's both.
He said it's both. You got to listen, sir, madam.
Yeah.
Alan bussin' is like busting in terms of a nut. That was so good, you bussin'. Now, I like that.
Oh, really?
Probably.
That might be where it comes
from. So your 10-year-old
It
niece
also-
is busting a nut on the regular when she's
For
eating
those
carrots.
carrots.
For those
I don't
For
think
them
she
carrots,
knows.
son.
Yes, because that makes sense because they call, a male pee
Bus stop?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say it on air.
Yeah, then don't. I don't know what you're talking about, and I
can't see you.
don't want to go down that road.
It's like
Yeah.
bussin', but just what you call female vagina. Another word for vagina. It's just a male vagina.
Vagina is a female vagina, I believe. Yeah, the female word for vagina is
Talk about
vagina.
A male
oh my
vagina.
God. Vagina penis stuff. We were in the car this weekend, and my boyfriend's daughter, who is 6, something came up about vagina. She was like digging in her pants or something. I was like, hey, is everything okay? Why are you touching your vagina? You know what I mean? Like,
Hey, why are you
she's,
digging
like,
in your pants?
pulling her shorts out of it. I was like, are they too small? What's going on with you? And she was
She
like,
got a
no,
V-wedge.
she's like, I'm okay. And then she was sitting there and she's like, am I allowed to say that? And I was like, vagina? And she goes, yeah. And I was like, yeah, it's not a bad word. That's just what it's called. They call it a hoo-ha in her family. So I was like,
Hoo-ha! My kids called it a winky when they were little.
the girls one
Yeah.
is a winky?
Winky, yeah. Because I remember specifically, I have a bit about it on Just Say You're Just My Old special, where one of them goes, she keeps digging in her winky, like yell it from the back seat, and then she's just like, only sometimes.
Right, yeah.
Huh.
So
Yeah, some people go for the slang, and some people go for the
sure,
medical
hoo-ha.
terminology. Yeah.
My mom
we-
used to call it a weasel. Did you clean your wheeze?
But she had 2 boys.
I know.
When was your
That
mom
makes sense.
bringing that up?
When-
Talking about herself?
No, she was talking about us. Like,
Did
talking
you
about
called
your
it
clean
wiener.
your
penis,
wheeze?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
a
she
weasel.
called the penis a weasel.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
We called a vagina a susu. I don't know why.
I don't either. What's the...
I
we
think-
had penis and vagina at Casa Cox when I was growing up.
Yeah, I don't know. It was in your susu.
Yeah.
But so anyway,
Studio.
so she says that and she was sitting there kind of quiet, kind of sitting with it, and then she goes, "Can I say the thing for boys?" And Brian just puts his hand over his mouth real quick, and I was like, "Penis?" And she was like, "Yeah, is that a bad word?" I said, "It's not a bad word. That's just what it's called." And she kind of sat there, and I could see her in like the mirror, and her eyes kind of lit up, and she goes, "So boys have penises like that?" And Brian lost it. He's laughing.
Mary's
so
doing all the
hard.
heavy lifting in the car there.
Brian's laughing his ass off because he's like, I cannot believe I just heard my 6-year-old say penis. So I was like, she's just asking what the terms are. Like,
Right.
it's not
What
that
is
big
that
of a
thing that
deal.
Timmy shows me after class every day, Dad? What is that?
He's not mad at you for
really want to
overstepping.
know. Overstepping?
You.
She's right. She's doing the heavy lifting for him.
Please don't touch my vagina.
That lets him get out of having that conversation in the car.
He could barely contain
Mary
his
can do it.
laughter.
Yeah.
He was losing it when he was like, I can't listen to this small child say the word penis just because she's so like, what's the like shy about it? Like she was like, is it okay? Can I
Well,
say penis?
It's like when Alan plays the clip of Nora going, why were you talking about penises and beeholes on the radio,
Right.
Daddy?
Right, yeah.
There's just a sweetness to it.
It was
Why
just
were you talking about beeholes and penises on the radio, Daddy?
It was just such a sweet moment that made me. I don't know. It was a very funny kind of. I don't even know if it's a teachable moment, but just
my
that,
6-year-old daughter's first penis. I'll never forget it. It was.
just that she was like so confused. Like, can I say that? Like, was just so shy. And is it okay? I'm like, yeah, it's just called a vagina, honey.
It's just now. Let's not run around the mall and yell it at people indiscriminately. That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think I
Honey,
learned.
it's called a vulva. All right.
I heard every other vulgar term for penis and vagina before I actually learned the words penis and vagina. Like
I think that's probably. I mean, most kids are raised on slang. It's not like your parents are sitting you down and telling
Yeah,
you stuff.
my mom had a-
mine did, but they're nerds.
Yeah, my mom had pet names for them, and then I wouldn't say pet names, but just nicknames for them. And then my friends at school, they would all say the most derogatory, nasty slang term for them. So I never really learned. So I had sex ed. I'm like, oh, that's what that is. That's what comes out of there. Like, okay, now I learned. So
Well, but it also, I think all that slang, though, when you get a little bit older, that's also the downside of it is that's what allows some people to not take it seriously, to
That's
kind of
correct.
laugh the whole thing off because you're like, oh, it's just that.
Yeah.
And then the older you get, you kind of have that in your brain. I'm sure I'm reading too much into it, but I mean, that's all kind of in there working when your brain is developing and you're figuring sex out and all that.
It's
you know,
just a ding-a-ling.
Yeah, right. So
I was
Chuck Berry
so-
called it.
I was so confused over semen and sperm. Like, I didn't know the difference. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, why? I was like, why can't the sperm just like come out by itself? They're like, well, because it needs fluid. I'm like, isn't sperm fluid? And they're like, no, sperms, think of them as little tadpoles. I'm like, That's what's inside of me right now. I got real scared. I'm like, wait a minute.
You guys didn't have sex ed in school?
No, we did. That's how I learned.
Oh, I
That's
see.
when I learned.
When they told you.
I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, so that liquid is not sperm? They're like, no, that's semen.
I am still fascinated by the things Poundcake didn't learn with a mother who was a nurse. I know she was sleeping all the time, and I get it. But it's like there's people that didn't have any medical professionals in their family who probably knew more stuff than he did as a kid.
But Poundcake,
Like by osmosis, he never even learned this stuff from his mom.
Poundcake also, he has a very literal mind in a lot of ways where it seems like he can't, at least when he tells these stories about being a little kid, he can't grasp like the layers of things. Like the sperm is in the semen. Like he can't figure that out because he kind of locks it in as, okay, it's this one thing.
Yeah.
And also, if you're that young, I don't know how young you were when you were hearing about this.
17.
13.
It might be hard for anybody to understand. Anybody just heard it way, like I was probably finding out about it in 5th grade. So I feel like I had a pretty good understanding of how they explained it to me. Or maybe you just have a learning disability.
I do have a learning disability.
Dude.
Yeah, his learning disability is called doesn't listen. That's his learning disability.
That's why he was on that little bussin'.
Uh-huh.
The short bussin'. The first time I heard about semen, my brothers were making macaroni and cheese.
They weren't singing sea shanties?
They were not. They were making macaroni and cheese. So man, I had to be young. I was probably only 7 or 8 maybe. And my brothers were making macaroni and cheese. And they were joking, and he said, "Oh, it looks like there's a bunch of semen in here."
Oh.
And I looked at my mom, and I went into the room, and I asked her, I was like, "What's semen?" And she was like, "What?" And I said, "The boy said there's semen in the macaroni."
Oh, God.
So she comes
You're
out.
supposed to use milk.
Right. She comes out like, "What is going on?" And then she told me that semen was when, like, seamen, like Navy guys, fall overboard and get all slimy. That's what it looks like.
See, I feel
just
like that's
telling you what it was.
Well, how old were you at that
I was
point?
like 7.
Okay,
She's sending you out into the
yeah.
world with a ridiculous story
Yeah.
that people will mock you for at some
Well,
point.
my mom told me
But
that.
I let it go. I
Yeah,
was
no,
just
I
like,
understand.
oh, yeah, macaroni and cheese does look
Because
like
you believe your mom.
a slimy sea guy fell into
Right.
the ocean.
Slimy sea guy. Yeah. It's legal to mail semen, even internationally. M-A-I-L. M-A-L-E. S-E-M-E-N. You can mail it. And there's a woman named Amanda Booth who makes what she calls Jizzy Jewelry.
Gross.
This is what everybody's looking for, a new hook now, right? You thought your Etsy store was dumb. Everybody's looking for a new hook. And this woman has clients lined up all day long. She makes jewelry out of dehydrated semen.
Oh, I bet you those things smell. Dude.
Oh, that's all I could think
I
of is
know it smells.
working in this factory that she has in her probably tiny apartment. She's in Canada. Most of her clients are in the U.S.
No way she has a husband.
She asks people.
Where do you think she's getting it?
She asks people to make sure that the containers are fully sealed and double bagged, and then you mail it to her. And she dehydrates your mayo and puts it into jewelry. I don't know if she
Dude,
pressurizes it
Who
like
wants
it's
it?
like
Not
it's a
gonna lie,
goo diamond.
If
or,
I had
you
a
know.
boyfriend or a husband,
Howdy.
I shut up, Mary. I would want this. Instead of how people get chocolate covered D's or stuff for Valentine's Day, I would like a ring or a trinket or something. If I was
You could give your girl a real pearl necklace.
exactly.
See, that's the thing is I was reading this article
wouldn't
on
mind
it,
it.
and this woman was like, I got one because I'd be really funny to tell people my husband gave me a pearl. I'm like, that's funny. People are so dumb. That'd be funny to tell people that, would it? And then they go, haha, I'm uncomfortable. And
they'd
they
be
walk
like,
away.
that's actually really disgusting.
Yeah, I will walk away.
I feel like you have to be so insecure to want your girl to wear that. Like, everyone needs to know your mind. You're going to wear my jizz on your neck.
But here's my question, and this is going to sound really stupid, but I'm not a scientist. Is there any way that you could Jurassic Park your way to a kid with this stuff? It's probably all dead, right? That way
yeah, it's all dead.
You couldn't
Yeah.
rehydrate it?
I don't know if it's...
Reanimate it Frankenstein style?
Yeah, today's Frankenstein Day, by the way. It's Mary Shelley's birthday. They celebrate Frankenstein Day.
It's still got DNA in it, so
That's
if you have...
what I'm
dead.
saying.
Yeah, but if you have... I mean, you
They
couldn't...
extract
you
flies from
couldn't
amber.
do it in a way... you couldn't use it as artificial insemination, but if you were trying to make a clone,
I don't think
maybe
you
then...
could use this.
I don't know.
No.
I'm just asking questions, Mary.
Well, the mosquitoes
People are
were
saying
dead in Jurassic Park, and that's real.
yes,
Obviously.
right.
But it's not preserved.
So a Jurassic Park of semen.
Jurassic Pork.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know, but just for people who are wondering, people always have, most people aren't barristers, and they go, "Hey, is this legal?" And a quick Google search might tell you whatever you're asking about, whether or not it's legal. Depending on what kind of person you are, you might be doing a lot of searches on age of consent, right? And other people are searching, can I get in trouble for this? If you've asked yourself, is it legal to mail semen? Yes, it is. Internationally, whatever you want to do. This woman's in Canada. Her name's Amanda Booth. If you want to find her and look her up.
What are the questions they ask you, though? They say, is there anything liquid, hazardous, or whatever?
That's right. And you say yes.
That's what I'm saying.
There's liquid. And then they'll put a sticker on it that says liquid. And they'll say, what is it? And you'll say, well, you're never going to believe this. Because this woman also makes, like, breast milk jewelry and, dehydrated breast milk and things like that.
Liquid, fragile, or perishable.
Yes.
So it's all of those.
All three things. Yes, yes, and yes. And then they go... And this is where it gets fun. They go, oh, what's in there? And you say, semen. And then they go, and then they kind of hold it at arm's length.
And then hey, Jerry!
We got another one.
Give me a straw, will ya?
I do have to ask, how much would you need to do this?
Probably not much. She's making little trinkets, little pieces of jewelry. I imagine however much you send her is, and I'm sure if you hit her up, these are all custom pieces. I'm sure if you hit her up, she'll tell you precisely what the protocol is. You can go to trinketsbyamandabooth.com, and no, I'm not being paid to tell you that.
I don't know what
Bill Will's here for semen jewelry.
Friends, have you ever wondered how your jewelry looks so nice?
If a guy got me that, if my boyfriend came home and was like, baby, I got you the ring, I was like, oh my God. And he showed me this, and I was like, what is it? Is that a opal or a pearl? He's like, actually. I'm like,
Actually.
get this away from me. Like, what are you doing?
That's not your birthstone? No, that's not my birthstone.
I mean, it kind of is a birthstone.
Could you imagine?
It sure is.
Could you imagine getting, like, jacked from that? Like, someone try to rob you, and then they'd be like, ha, joke's on them. They're like, what's the resale value on this? Like, well.
What is the resale value on that?
Oh, my God. The last line of this is, get yours today. Shoot your shot for a consult.
Yes.
Okay, she's leaning
And then when I
into
got a big load, I go put it in there.
That's right.
a vasectomy gift is what she says.
Yeah, I'm going to be getting a vasectomy. Hopefully somebody gives me one of these.
Oh, that's a big load.
Oh, my goodness.
Very
Both
considerate.
male and female.
Yes.
How do you?
Because people think that, I don't know.
Gotta
I'll let
start
Amanda
bussin'.
Booth figure that out. That's bussin'. She's bussin' all over the place. I'm going to take a break. If you want to shoot a text, 35192. If you want to watch, you can. Go to alancoxshow.com. And you can listen anywhere throughout North America on the iHeartRadio app.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7